Yeah, we're live on a Sunday night, pre-storm.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Did you ever have those radio
Oh
ads?
yeah, oh yeah.
Bigfoot versus Gravedigger.
I worked at the fairgrounds where they had those. I worked at the fast food at the stands.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great group of people that would come and buy stuff at the state fair.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, I used to drive Gravedigger.
You know, all drivers of monster trucks are tiny men. Surprisingly, they're really small because the truck flies over those big jumps more.
Yeah, they want kind of like the way they want jockeys.
Yeah, they're actually jockeys.
Yeah, they're monster truck. They're monster truck jockeys.
Hey,
you should stop calling them drivers.
I'm driving Bigfoot. Christian Finnegan joining me. I was just with a listener. I'm not going to name names. I don't know why, because I forget who said it, but it was naming all of his favorite guests here on the show. He said, honest to God, I just love the guy, Christian Finnegan. He just always resonates with me. And I hear that so often. So I don't know what we're going to talk about. You're just always solid gold. Whenever we're done, you're like, was that good? I'm like, people love it. So thank you very much for joining me.
Well, I appreciate that. And to the gentleman in question, I apologize that you are operating so close to my wavelength, because I wish I wasn't. I am constantly on the lookout for a different wavelength.
That person probably that comment probably resonates with that guy.
Probably, yeah. See, that's a great thing, is I can just lean in to my fucked upitude, and I know with at least this one fellow, it's just gonna deepen our bond even more.
A really good guy too. I just remember who it was. I'm almost positive it was my friend Adam out in Minneapolis, who I actually interviewed for the show because he'd been working with all the activists and organizers and citizens and human beings in Minneapolis trying to protect.
Oh, so that means I get to sort of like, I am moral and activist. Yes. I'm an activist by extension.
Well, you have the respect of those who are doing the right thing right now,
which is almost like doing the right thing myself.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're inspired by you coming close to it.
Yeah, did you ever see that documentary? I'm sure I know the answer to this. 5 Feet from Stardom. Did you? It was about backup singers in Motown and in the '60s, and sort of these who sort of sang on famous tracks, and just what the life of being a background singer is. I'm like that. I'm like 5 feet from morality.
Yeah,
I just exist in the refracted glow of the great work that so many people are doing.
Well, see, people like that though. They see it, they hear it, and they try to be it. That's the change that you are. And so there you go. Lots of things that I want to add. People just like your views. They like the way you talk, the way you frame things, the way your certain sense of, I think, morality is. Also, just obviously, it's always fun to talk to you. You're curious. You're funny. Enough flattery. I want to get to those takes.
More flattery, please.
Well, have you been
paying a rough week? No,
go ahead. Have you been paying attention to it's the Olympics just closed, so I thought we would do a professional recap, having not Kim Nyborg says your normalcy. Yeah. And then another person just on YouTube says the guy with the white hair looks like the Epstein criminal. So I don't know who that person is, but that can't feel good.
It is looking particularly white right now. I'm like literally under a lamp. So
you do look like a Bond villain's sidekick.
I look like what?
A Bond villain's sidekick. You do look like Philip Seymour Hoffman's, but not at all. But you have this essence.
Well, I appreciate that. I was feeling really schlubby. I was wearing a hat, and I was like, maybe if I wear headphones, you won't be able to tell that I have like hat hair. And I zipped up my thing because it just felt too schlubby. And this definitely does make me look more like I definitely feel more like a tech billionaire.
Yeah,
like. I just released a new product. I hate when they call like computer apps like products. I just released a new product that's going to really disrupt the way we see pooping. I created some, I really like to think outside the box. I'm a disruptor by nature.
Yeah, you absolutely dress like one. There's no doubt about that.
For sure.
So anyway, the Olympics are over, and I wonder if you watched any. Were you affected by anything? Did you feel good about any of? Did you watch any of the events? Did you any storylines?
I watched a little more than I'm not a big Winter Olympics guy, but my wife very much is. So I definitely was in tune with a lot of the figure skating stuff, because Cambry is obsessed with figure skating and works at an ice skating rink now and eats, shits, and breathes ice skating. So I was definitely attuned to all the drama with the quad god. I don't know if you're familiar with
I
the
don't know the
quad
quad
god.
yacht. I know.
Ilya Malinin, who is kind of I mean, to say he's like the LeBron James, like the young future of figure skating guy who can do things that other people can't do, and kind of was expected to win gold, and kind of had a not a great routine, and but was very kind of won fans because he was super gracious about it. So I was like, I was attuned to that narrative. I was attuned to the Amber Glenn narrative, uh, the lovely young skater who won, whose name now escapes me, Alicia something, Alyssa. Anyway, whatever.
Alyssa Liu.
Alyssa Liu, yes.
Yeah, I
Um,
read a little about her. I didn't watch any of it, but I did. I
she's
did.
gonna be a celebrity. Like, she's gonna be one of those people who breaks like Olympic containment, and actually, because she's like got charisma, and she's got kind of a not necessarily bad girl, but she's got kind of like, I don't need this attitude, which like I don't like, she seems to have other interests other than skating. Apparently, she had quit for a while and then came back. So it makes for a good story. Like,
Yep.
she's gonna have like a post-skating Tara Lipinski-esque career, I imagine.
Oh wow, I didn't know you knew so much about Tara's career.
I
Lipinski.
really, I'm a Lipinski
Fanatic.
completist, as we know. Yeah. Um,
Did you find any of the obscure events? Did you have fun watching or making fun of?
People love to talk about curling, man. I
Yeah.
feel like curling is having a moment.
Mhm.
And I don't know whether that's because people are actually enjoying it, or whether it's kind of a Barbenheimer kind of pop cultural moment where everyone kind of pretends to
I
be
feel
into
like it was
something.
this
Just
way last time, and I remember
it's
getting
been
shit.
building. I feel like every Olympics I hear more about curling.
And it's one of the, but it's got all this attention being paid. I made fun of it, and people got actually mad at me, and I made fun of it again, and they stopped talking to me. People are
My
taking it very
my take
seriously.
my
Yeah,
take, and people love my take, Speed, as
they
I don't know
do.
if people
Folks,
really
welcome to
love.
my takes with Christian Finnegan.
I feel like this curling fascination has followed a not uncommon pop cultural arc, which is that something is kind of thought of as silly and, ridiculous and superfluous and on its face, like, how is this an Olympic event, et cetera, and so forth. And then you get people who will start enjoying it ironically for a period of time, or where they think it's kind of kitschy and quirky to be into it. So it's like,
Right,
what Olympic sport I love, curling, ha ha
right,
ha.
right.
And then that happens for a period of time. And then the people kind of coming up behind that, who are younger, like the next generation, they start to like it genuinely, because like the people older than them sort of started liking it ironically. And then maybe those people actually do start to know and care about it. And then it becomes almost sacrosanct to make fun of it, is almost offensive, because
Yes,
like,
I think that's
we
where we're
love it.
at.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, we're at that stage of the curling life cycle, I think.
The only other thing about curling I can really think of is that it has garnered this following, and yet it's not like hockey or gymnastics or even figure skating, something that you could potentially do yourself, even for leisure, because there's no, have you ever heard of a curling rink anywhere, a venue where you can go do that for recreation? Also, that rock apparently costs $15,000. I feel like the barrier to entry to the game, I won't call it a sport, is pretty high. And
It
also,
feels it feels like it would be almost free to do something that was 90% like curling, but a lot of money to actually
yeah,
do curling. Do you know what I mean?
right,
Like, because you
right.
could just get a rock and slide it across the ice and vaguely approximate the experience of professional curling. But to then actually take that final step into professional curling, that's a massive financial investment.
Why don't we invest everything we have into a curling venue? And
Yeah, I mean, they have those stupid axe throwing bars now.
exactly. And
Yeah,
not
I actually would not be surprised if there's a curling, but, well, I know that most of the American curlers, which I'm sure you heard, are a lot of them tend to be from around the Minneapolis area. That is sort of where the major curling training centers are, and so that's why a lot of them were very vocal about ice and whatnot, which I also do think endeared them, the
yes,
curling world, to a lot of people, is because they were a little bit more out front on the ice situation.
it
Um,
was an
but yeah,
interesting. Olympics just because of the politics. There's always politics at the Olympics, and there's sometimes friendly rivalries and sometimes obviously ugly, deep-seated ones between countries and competitors. But I guess the thing that is unique is that the president of the United States like savaged a few of the athletes. I just read before we got on here that is it skier Hunter Hess says the last 2 weeks have probably been the hardest of his life after the president of the United States savaged him publicly. And I just think it's just another specific to him only type of behavior. And not only to him as an American president, but to any foreign leader to
As a human being, as a human being, I'm telling you, if this person existed in your life, you would cut this person off. Like you would not have a relationship with this person.
Alleged pedophile. Yes.
Yeah. But everybody thinks that he's a fucking fire hose that they can point at other people. Do you know what I mean? And they don't realize that he's an omnidirectional fire hose. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, the only direction it doesn't fire is things that make him look good. You know, and I've always had, maybe because I'm your typical kind of half-assed coastal liberal, whatever, but I've always had sort of awkward misgivings about sort of being overly patriotic during the Olympics, that it feels silly and it feels like ridiculous because in so many of the events we just have built-in advantages over most of these other countries. Like it always feels like silly to me when we're like rooting for Americans to crush the Romanians in gymnastics. Do you know what I mean? It's like, can't we maybe we just let Romanians have this one?
Although
like
the tiny Norwegian country of Norway always seems to win, and they beat us. So hey.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's like I never have this or like USA.
Right.
And you would think instinctively with what's been going on with ICE, and immigration and just in Trump in general.
Destroying a relationship with every other country in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. You think that would make it even harder to root for the Olympics this year. But in a weird way, because Trump has attacked these athletes personally, he's stripped this notion of, oh, rooting for the Olympians is being pro-America, which means being pro-Trump. Not even Trump is pro-Olympian. So it feels like, oh, then I feel much freer to root for these people because he's not on their side. So I
exactly. Yes, because as long as he's savaging them, I'm going to root for them. Because imagine what the pressure is to compete without the leader of your country putting you on blast. A friend of mine also, he listens to the show. What's up, Brian? He texted our high school group chat. It was like 19 of us in there. And he said, the sacrifice of these Olympians is so inspiring. And I was just like, they're not dying. Like sacrifice, they're not sacrificing. I tried to argue a little bit. People, I just don't see, it's an honor. Like they work really, it's a dream come true. Sacrifice. Anyway, Brian, I just wanted to finish you and see if
I honor their sacrifice in the sense that they are almost in the same way that I honor the sacrifice of people going to stand-up comedy, because like it ain't gonna end well. Like maybe not end well, but I mean, there's no gold watch. Do you know what I mean? There's no pension, you know, like
going into stand-up comedy to become
exactly. To become is, I mean, obviously there is always the lottery ticket of like, oh my God, I'm Patton Oswalt and I'm a million.
If you're an Olympian, when you get that tattoo of the rings, and then
especially when you're doing a sport, when you're just like, oh great, you know, you're a pole vaulter. I mean, I did a whole long stupid bit about this exact topic on my first album, 2 for Flinching, check it out. But I did but the Olympics, most of these people are devoting just massive chunks of their lives to something with no real payoff at the end, other than, you know, like Cambry, you know, when she goes to the ice skating rink, and sometimes the like Olympians will be coaching her, you know, and it's like, because how else are they going to monetize?
I'll tell you how. I think that probably was way more true, honestly, when you taped that special. Then I feel like if you are in the Olympics and you're smart, you shouldn't have to do it, but you're smart about it and you want it to be, you know, you just Instagram. And once you have like
for a while, I mean, like once the light fades from like your silver medal performance, Do you know what I mean? Like, do you think anybody how much are they monetizing that a year and a half down the road, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
but I'm
you're
saying I honor their sacrifice in that sense because it's not like, they're gonna be able to get many of them will be able to achieve endorsement deals and things like that. So I honor their sacrifice of like time and energy and to give this like give the world the sort of shining event that the Olympics is. I think the Olympics as an institution is wonderful and important, even if I don't particularly watch a lot of it. I think it's a great thing, and so I honor the Olympians for giving up their lives and livelihoods in certain circumstances to give the world that gift.
if you say so. It's very generous. Uh, I think once you're in the Olympics, you can work wherever you get anything you want. I think they just get they give you a house and a job, and you're good. How about this out of the Olympics news? Just breaking on Sunday night. The head of the FBI, Kash Patel, went to he was in not in Italy for the Winter Olympics apparently, but he was in Italy for some reason, and he celebrated in the Olympic hockey team locker room. Kash Patel's taxpayer-funded work trip to Italy included a well-documented raucous locker room celebration with Team USA at the Winter Olympics. First, I would ask you, can you imagine James Comey being in the locker room? Can you imagine Robert Mueller being in? Can you imagine?
In their defense, James Comey did get backstage passes to see Guar at one point.
That was a deep cut. But can you imagine being in the Olympic locker room after winning the gold medal, and you turn and you see Kash Patel? If you know who he is, you had to be like, why is that guy here?
And not just Kash Patel, his entire Secret Service entourage. You know what I mean? So it's not like Kash Patel just wandered into this room. The FBI director is not just like there's a whole line of bullshit that comes along with that. In addition to who the fuck is this guy and why is he here?
Really weird.
It's not weird. It's not weird when you look at who these people are. All they want to be is they just want perks. They want perks and they want Instagram content and they think that they have earned the right to be invited to the party.
Yeah, you go into every big event, like the Super Bowl or whatever. They show up and it's not a good look. And then a lot of it is like, they post on social media about it. It's a bizarre thing. Meanwhile,
and granted, I mean, I know that I don't even think that Nancy Guthrie's I don't even think that's been federalized, but still, it's like there are things. I mean, the Epstein file, like there's stuff to do. It's not like it's a slow week for the FBI. I mean,
I can't believe that Kash Patel is partying in the locker room at the Olympics, the hockey team, while Nancy Guthrie is still missing.
It's a weird sentence.
I was just in Arizona looking for her.
Oh, I heard that about you. You just took it upon yourself.
People are like, why'd you go to Arizona? Like, I wanted to find her. It's such a sad, tragic story.
Did you find her?
No, but I kept seeing her everywhere. Because when you're looking for someone, she looked like a lot of ladies in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
But what a damn nightmare, and the amount of attention it's getting or gotten, and now they still haven't found her. It's like a month, and I don't want to.
I have my own dumb theories, like everybody does, but it's just
like, you do.
Again, I don't want to. I don't want to
ransom.
I'll have the conversation. I don't want to make content of this. I don't want to be ghoulish about it. Okay, like this. It's terrible for the whole family and Savannah Guthrie, who I don't know as a human being or whatever, but I will say, like, whenever I would see her on TV, like she just always would have this like beaming, bright, natural smile. Just a natural smile.
She's wonderful. Yeah.
You can tell people who are smiling because they're nice, as opposed to because they've trained themselves to smile.
If it came out that there was some connection to her as a result of the kidnapping, can you imagine just having such an amazing career on a show like that, and then that being a consequence? You'd trade it all. Anyway,
here's just an apropos of nothing. Who's the most shocking fall from grace for you? Like the person who like Malauer. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. You know what though? I don't know that it is a good one. I mean, a dude in media, like, I mean, not
Yeah, I guess you're
super
not
shocked.
shocked by that. I mean, you're putting me on the
Okay,
spot.
I know
But
one.
you have one. Go.
Marv Albert.
What happened to Marv Albert?
Oh my god, you don't remember this?
I
Marv
there was some
Albert
controversy.
was
Did he
having,
bite a
like,
woman or something?
yeah, he was having, like, kinky sex with
What's
a
wrong with that?
woman because I think he broke the skin, a number like, I think,
And
it
that
was
ended
like
his career that she reported that they had some weird
well,
second
it was not yeah, it was pretty vicious, like,
oh god.
it was not defensible stuff. It
Oh,
was
I
fucked
don't
up.
know.
Yeah, and there was I mean, not that this is part there was also some, gender play involved, I believe. I think he was wearing women's lingerie and things
He
like
always
that,
wore a wig.
which yeah, I mean, yeah, so it's
Oh,
not
how
like
about
he
this one? Our friend Kim Nyborg, Deepak Chopra. He was in the Epstein files. Are you shocked with his fall from grace?
Oh. You know, I probably would have been 5 years ago, but now I kind of be like, "Oh, these professional intellectuals
Yeah.
were so they all fell into this orbit." Because that's what I think I've come to realize is that these rich people, these billionaires, they want to feel like their lives are a French salon, a Paris salon. And so they want like interesting. I mean, that was whole. I mean, in addition to the sex trafficking, a lot of what Epstein seemed to be peddling was connections and sort of interesting groups of people. Like,
Yep.
oh, I'm going to have the former Israeli prime minister
Yep.
and also Richard Branson and also David Blaine, the fucking magician. Do you know what I mean? That it's just these random and so I guess that is to say somebody like Deepak Chopra, him, Noam Chomsky, like all these people, was like, all right, you're all just willing to go when a rich person is willing to make you feel special, all the morals go out the
And
window.
do stuff for you and
Yeah.
introduce you to people. Would you take the invite to be introduced to somebody that you really want to meet for any number of reasons if the invite was coming from a guy who you knew was a sex trafficker? Sometimes I think about like I never had that choice, but I was talking about this with someone earlier. I was on The Apprentice, and they did ask us, me and Jim
You were on The
Florentine,
Apprentice?
Jim Florentine, Carrie Louise, and who are the other comedians were on The Apprentice season 4.
Oh, as like
Um,
one of the episodes.
yeah, an episode
I see.
where they produced a comedy show,
Mhm.
and they asked us if we wanted to meet Trump. This is 2004, and I was like, I don't want to meet him. I just want to do this show because it's a big show. But I didn't
Yeah.
want to meet him because I knew he was gross. I had no interest in meeting that guy, but I did want to, ride the show, which was an NBC show, not a
Sure.
Trump show. In my defense, if there is any, but I remember just not wanting to meet the guy. And I remember Alfred Schultz, my old producer, when we were told we needed to interview Harvey Weinstein, I was like, "Nah, we're good." Like, so you do. I'm not trying to tout my own kind of moral clarity on these choices when I had the opportunity, but you do have that. You should have that thought. Like, why would I
You
this is
have agency. You have agency.
an agency? You should have.
And yeah, and sometimes the most moral thing you can do is to say no, even if it creates awkwardness. Do you know? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Take the
it's something I have always struggled with my entire life because it's like I think one of the reasons I love doing stand up is because I can actually say what I think. I mean, that sounds very cliche, but I don't have the pressure of not wanting to make an awkward dynamic in the room. Do you know what I mean? Which
sure.
I feel like has never to the extent of hanging out with sex traffickers, but there's certainly situations where I was in the room in a green room, say with a comedian who like said material that I find repellent or whatever, and just in order to keep the sort of herd nice. I mean, a green room is sort of a demilitarized zone anyway, but it's um and I'm not saying and we're giving these dudes the benefit of the doubt. We're giving the benefit of the doubt that they weren't all signed up because they knew exactly what Jeffrey Epstein was and what
Right.
he would do for them. You know.
What do you think that any of the new revelations have done? Have you learned anything? Are you
Well,
surprised?
I mean,
What do you think might still be out there? Because apparently there's a lot more documents and still a lot redacted.
oh, I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine how crazy the stuff is that's been redacted if this is the stuff that's sneaking out. And I will say, one of the main things that I've thought over the past week is for the first I've never understood why Trump thought he could be president. Like, when he used to say, like, "Oh, I'm gonna run for president one day," I would be like, "What are you fucking kidding? You're a fucking page 6 punchline." You're like, I mean, I used to do a joke about it. He's like one of those New York characters, like the fucking Rent is Too Damn High guy and Curtis Sliwa and just like
Right.
these sort of people that you would just read about. They're like wacky New York characters. And then, but with all this stuff and with all of these, like, the world's richest people and all of these public intellectuals and politicians being, Bill Richardson, like, who knows what the fuck he was up to in New Mexico with the stupid Zorro Ranch and all that. Like, it makes me say, oh, this is why. Because he knew these people. He knew these people, like that he actually did operate in these circles, but it wasn't in public. It was in
Right.
private. Do you know what I mean? It was in
Yep.
these sketchy, and who knows? I'm trying to presume that they were all. I'm not saying it was like an eyes wide shut situation or whatever. Maybe who's it possible? But they all sort of interacted in this sort of shadow world, and I see like, oh, that's why he thought he could be president. It's because he knew the power players. He knew these rich and important. They're all one, like Kevin Bacon game. They're all one person removed from him at the most.
It's wild to believe how much is there, and yet I'm still on the side of people saying, well, which rich person, which influential rich person wasn't in the Epstein files? Most.
I think
Most
you're
people and most men were not in the Epstein files, didn't meet Jeffrey Epstein, didn't contribute to the sex trafficking and so on. And I'm not defending certainly wealthy, influential people, but it's some of the pronouncements I feel like have been kind of doing an injustice, and some of the reactions, but still so much to come. And I do think that it's done a tremendous amount of damage and split the kind of MAGA movement in a way. I think it maybe not split, but it, a lot of
even the people who
pros.
even the people who are still on the train are backpedaling and uncomfortable and would rather change the subject and talk about other shit, and they're on defense and they're feeling like gross about it, and yeah, it's they're in this the cynical phase of whatever cycle this is, but hopefully some of them will come out the other end and become empathetic, moral human beings again, but who can say?
Do you think you will be watching the State of the Union this week?
No.
Did you know it was happening?
Why? Yes, I did know it was happening, but like, for what purpose? For
There's
what end?
There's some pretty cool alternative programming. I think I might go to DC for this one event where there's a bunch of independent folks. By the way, I should talk to you about this kind of off the air to prepare you, but you probably have thoughts on it. Like, we have to have a conversation about what it means to be a journalist, what it means to be a content creator, what it means to be a commentator, what it means to be an influencer, what all those different words mean, because there are a lot of people on the progressive left that have huge followings that are not decent, ethical people. And I think we need to obviously call them out, but I'd want to have a stronger case before I make it publicly. But what I'm talking about. And it's not as a matter of savaging people or damaging people. It's certainly not that I'm like jealous of them. It's not that either. It's that they're not doing good things, and their incentives are just to get popular and to make money and get clicks and so on. But the clicks turn into money. And so there's just so much irresponsible nonsense. I'm on a bunch of chats and different lists with different ones of them. And we really need to have a thoughtful conversation and maybe make a list of like what they're doing. And
I will be asking you about this off the microphone, because I am curious to hear. I want names named. I want to hear.
Well,
I can guess on a few, but
and regardless of, and I'll tell them, and then I'll make a case against specific ones, but just the other ideas. I've seen a lot of people in the progressive left in media turn into what I've always criticized on the right, which is demanding. People always say purity, but demanding a Hakeem Jeffries, or like my friend Wajid Ali, one of my closest friends, one of my favorite people, super smart guy. I don't love the way that he handled his interview with Hakeem Jeffries, demanding that he say abolish ICE, because they can't abolish ICE, and he just wanted him to say those words. And I just didn't. I didn't love the
Yeah,
way
I don't.
he wanted
Yeah,
to.
that's a harder one for me. Because I I'm not a Hakeem Jeffries fan, and I think he gets away with a lot of fuzzy bullshit Obama, you know, trying to be Obama type language. Uh, which it's funny because like I still think Obama is the most gifted speaker of my life. But now when I hear someone who evokes Obama, invariably they sound like soulless and completely
Yeah,
like
yeah, for
it
sure.
sounds like bullshit. It's just corporate, consultant speak and all that crap. I mean, that was honestly one of Obama's many gifts is that he was able to synthesize all of that sort of McKinsey speak with an
Mhm,
actual feeling of like civil
mhm.
rights activism and justice and you know what I mean? And so Jeffries, like, I'm not a fan of him, and I haven't watched that
I
interview that
haven't
you.
either, so I shouldn't have brought it up, and I'll bring it up to Waj. I'll talk about it with
Yeah.
publicly with it, but just this idea of demanding.
But to me, anything that forces Hakeem Jeffries to actually not fucking just throw word salad at you, I'm generally for, but I don't know that specific instance.
We'll talk about it another time when I talk to you off the air what I mean and specifically. I'm going to try to make this case because I am trying to create some more awareness around it to give people kind of an ability to judge and interpret where credibility lies and why somebody is doing what they're doing and posting what they're posting and behaving kind of the way that they're behaving. I'm always, I'm
Well,
always
it's hard
also.
though because I mean that's I mean, and I'm not blaming any person for this. They're right and we're wrong in a way. I mean, those are the incentives that are being placed on everyone who is trying to exist in this space. I hate that word. But anybody who's trying to make uh, a living or, get attention, God forbid, make a living. Anyone who's trying to get sustained attention in this business, the motivation is to constantly put out things that are provocative and to
That's
create
so
content for the sake of the content and to just keep the fucking plate spinning
totally
longer.
true, but totally true. Absolutely true. But could you do it in a way that's responsible? I think that I do. I think that this woman, Amanda Nelson, and so many others, I just mentioned her because she was on last week. She's really smart using using history, using civics, and being pragmatic. And she's a huge following. And not everybody's going to be as smart and funny or as good as her or any number of other people who are doing great work. But there's just too many people, I think, out there that are either lying or just being hyperbolic or disingenuous or not, I feel, serious or pragmatic about the way it takes to win elections. Let me give you one not example of it, but I just want to ask you one more thing that happened when I was off last week, which this whole thing with James Tallarico on the Late Show with Colbert, the FCC saying they decided to start enforcing this rule where if you have one person on, you got to have the other person on from the other party. Obviously, we know that's all nonsense and bullshit. But what do you make of that and the way that Colbert and CBS handled it? It got apparently 80 million views on YouTube. The highest, most watched video the Late Show has ever posted was that interview. So, of course, the Streisand effect was in play here, where you tell people not to look at a thing and it gets more views than ever before. What did you think of that? I feel like it's just another shooting themselves in the dick move, just making themselves look bad.
The
But
FCC, I mean.
the FCC
Yeah.
and by extension, the Trump administration trying to come down
Oh
with the
yeah.
heavy
They
hand.
they they don't have a big you they don't have a full bag of golf clubs. They're pitch and putt. They have a like a 5 iron and a putter. Like that's it. Like they're and I that is more about golf than
Yeah,
I
I
don't
wasn't
even think I get.
expecting a golf metaphor, but
But do you know what
yeah,
pitch
I
and putt?
do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have as
That's
many tools in
yeah.
their.
That's all they have. They have just bad faith, kind of trying to just the most blatant hypocrisy that's absurd on its face and not even meant to deceive you.
Right.
You have to know how absurd it is, and it still happened to you. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what they want. They want. I mean, it's. I mean, it's. I hate invoking 1984, but it's that whole thing of like, how many fingers am I holding up? And like, and I'm gonna keep punching you in the face until you say two. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because it's like, it's not just that you have to say what I say, you have to know it's wrong. I need, and so I, anyway, they have that, and they have just brute force,
Which
whatever.
is also backfire.
Yeah, my point is, they don't have that many tactics, and so trying to shut things down, and especially when you have somebody who is, uh, shiny object oriented as our current president, um, these decisions are made in a Truth Social post, or in a 5-second rant that he has at 4 in the morning to whoever's nearby, and then it has to become policy, and then you have to see all these bureaucrats have to sort of like backload that with some sort of either legal or systematic
Which they don't have because
justification.
they're reacting the same way the rest of us. Like, what? Oh, I guess I've got to go argue for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
thing that the crazy motherfucker just posted. Along the lines of Orwell in 1984, this has been happening for a couple months now, well, since he's been reelected. But did you see they hung a giant banner of Trump's leering, angry, rapey face in front of the Department of Justice on a banner? Let's just take a moment. The president's face on a building, a government building. One thing to put his name up there, but his face.
And it is funny that it's this thing where, kind of what you were talking about before, like nobody, not even any other president, but any other world leader, like, who acts like this. And I feel like in a lot of ways that is making people not take it as seriously, because it's almost like they think that America is on vacation from itself for 10 years.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And
I
that
hope
eventually,
not.
like,
It feels
this,
like it.
these are the rules for this guy. But
Yeah,
after
yeah.
this, we'll go back to being normal again. And maybe that's true. Maybe there is just something so fundamentally, perversely idiosyncratic about this one person, Donald Trump, that when you remove him, things, the sort of all the institutions just slap back into place. It, who knows? It's
I want to
possible.
believe that. I want to
I,
believe that at least to some
I don't
extent.
necessarily know if I want to believe it, because the institutions were fucked up. The
Fair
institutions,
enough. Fair
I
enough.
mean,
Fair
but
enough.
yes, I understand. I think that's what everyone was hoping, is that, Biden would get elected, and then everything would just sort of snap back to being the way it was. And obviously that didn't happen.
Finally, we are about to, but even worse for people living, I think, in the city, endure yet another major winter storm. That'll be 2 in one winter. How much do you blame Mom Donnie, your boy, and how is he doing? I mean, isn't he screwing the pooch on this? Shouldn't he? I heard that he's asking for 2 forms of ID, but you don't need any ID to vote, but you need 2 forms of ID to sign up to be like a shoveling. Not good, I say. Terrible leadership for Mamdani during these winter storms. He's not qualified to be in power during these winter storms or something. I don't know
I
how the
was I
arguments
was
go.
about to venture into a bit something about no, you know what? I don't even want to
Sharia?
go there. No,
Sharia?
I just
A Muslim
no,
thing?
no, it was
Muslim
more
winters?
about Jews controlling the weather. And then I just thought, you
Oh,
know what?
Jews
Too
can roll.
much.
Yes, it's the
That's
Jew.
because Mamdani got elected. See, I didn't even want to follow that comedic trail, because now here we are. But wait, can I just get back to something you
The
were saying
weather
a second ago?
controlling Jews are ruining it for them. They keep, but they're hurting themselves too, because a lot of them, the ones that are in control, live in.
And the thing is, I guarantee you that there is some Twitch stream, or subreddit where this is probably the talking
Oh, no
point.
doubt.
It's got to be. There's got to be.
That's why we have to be careful, not because we're not worried about it, because people are like, well,
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, you know what? Let's move on. What are you gonna? How are you gonna spend your snow day?
I want to talk about. I am going to. I like it. I love it. I get out there. I snow blow, and then I take my little snow blower. I got a little electric one over to a couple other people's places, help them out. I find it.
That is the neighbor everybody wants.
Yeah, the opportunity to for me, it's an easy thing to do to help people, because people really need help, and it's really easy to do. And I actually like it. I like being outside. It's good exercise. I love the snow. So I'm kind of, I kind of like it. My daughter's already got a snow day, and the superintendent, sends a voicemail, and he said, enjoy your snow day and get out and take pictures and send them and tag us. And I liked that. I thought it was fun. He wasn't like, he was happy to tell us a day ahead.
Yeah,
You got a snow day. Enjoy it. Thank you.
I agree.
So
I this winter is breaking
you're not
me.
even dug out from the first one in New York City, I feel
Yeah, I
like.
mean, and I have slightly higher hopes this time around in the sense that it's going to be above freezing for a number of days after the blizzard is over, and so hopefully, at least in the streets and in the sidewalks, like there won't be just those mountains because for people weren't in the Northeast when the last storm hit, it was below freezing for something like 25 days in a row. Like it was between 10 and 28 degrees, like for like 2 weeks straight. And that meant that none of the snow could go anywhere. Like, so it was all just, you were
Right.
tromping through it.
Yeah.
Like just for, if you have dogs, that's to me the shittiest part of it is dogs, having to deal with that. So I'm
We're
hopeful that
yeah.
this will be better.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
We're literally talking about the weather, by the way.
Well, it's pretty extreme. I mean,
It is pretty extreme.
and it's the second time, and I thought it was worth mentioning. I saved it for last.
No, I heard myself talking and I'm like, "Oh my God, I sound like I sound like someone's dad when you're meeting like your girlfriend's parents for the first time. I like you're going to Thanksgiving at somebody's house, like, well, you see, last time we never went below freezing, and this time, like
That's now. We all do that at every age. I was thinking about it the other day. It's like it used to be probably the only thing people talked about especially in predicting. Well, it looks like the huckleberries are going to be coming riper this season because of the. It was all people did years
Yeah.
ago. It's a very natural. It's a very unifying event in this case. So we will endure it together. Thank you very much for doing this on a Sunday night, buddy. It's great to see you, and I appreciate you checking in with us. If you are in Detroit in April,
Detroit, April 9th
Castle,
through 11th, Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle.
great club, great venue. You can see Christian headlining there.
But not just there. Actually, previous to that, in March, if you live in or around Houston, Texas,
Look at that.
I will be playing at the Riot Comedy Club in Conroe, which is north of Texas. It's right near where my wife grew up.
North of Houston.
Yeah, north of Houston. That is the 27th and 28th of March, and then the 9th through 11th in Detroit. Please come. Please.
Houston and Detroit. See him if you're anywhere near the area. Tell your friends. He's one of the best, and he's one of my favorite people to talk to as well. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you, everybody, for watching live who did, and we appreciate you all very much. Go subscribe to Christian Substack as well. New music for olds, and we will talk to you all soon. Stay safe. And I was trying to think of something hokey. Stay safe. Stay.
Yeah, whatever. Have fun playing your board games.
Take a nap, play board games, eat nachos. In Maine, the guy says, snowblower gassed up, nachos and beer. Maine is ready. Good luck everywhere, everybody. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.